Hey, how's it going, you guys? This is petplatypus here. Almost forgot my name for a second. It's going to be a review of another episode of Hunter x Hunter. So, yeah, let's just do that. This episode was holy fuck. So, I don't even know where to begin aside from the beginning. I'll just break this into sections. First, we've got Gon in bed talking to the first examiner. Then we have a montage of how the fights went before Killua's main fight. And then we have that section, which takes up the majority of the episode. And then we have the section after that. So, to start off with Gon in bed, he wakes up, and the first examiner's there, the dude with no mouth. And he's like, yeah, you know, your arm will probably heal quickly. It was a pretty clean break. You know, here's your thing. Congratulations on passing the exam. And he's, you know, and then Gon basically said, basically Gon kind of doesn't want the card, you know, his license. But he's like, you can get rid of it, you can destroy it, you can sell it, but you cannot take the exam again if you do so. And Gon eventually decides that I'm not going to use my license until I repay my friends for what they did to help me get to where I am. So that was cool. Gon is showing, you know, more maturity, I guess. We'll see where his character goes, but the main meat of this episode is the fights, and he was asleep for an entire day, and at first I wasn't really liking that, because I was like, is it going to get skipped? Is he just going to kind of briefly discuss it? He goes into flashback mode, he's narrating over it, and it's pretty fastly paced, and it's kind of rushing through them, and I'm like, I would have liked to have seen more, but the way the episode ends kind of justifies it. So we see that some of the fights. We got Hanzo. He goes up against the bow and arrow dude. He basically does the same stuff he did to Gon, but the bow and arrow dude gives up like, excuse me, he gives up like immediately, showing that he does not have the determination that Gon does. We get Hisoka and Kurapika. They fought for a little while. They roughed it up a bit, but then Hisoka whispers something in Kurapika's ear, and then he gives up. And I called that. I called that in my last review, that he would just randomly give up because he's a weirdo. And he did. What he whispered, I have no idea, but that's definitely very interesting. Next, we had Killua's fight against the Archer dude, because the Archer dude was up for his second chance. I don't think I'm skipping anybody. He was up for his second chance, and Killua said, no, I'm not going to fight him. I don't feel like fighting him. So the Archer dude actually passes the exam. Hanzo passed the exam. Who else passed? Oh yeah, Hisoka gave up his fight, so Kurapika passed. Then Hisoka fights his second match against the older looking dude. He pretty much beats the shit out of the guy, but he refuses to surrender. Then he whispers something in his ear, and then that guy surrenders, not Hisoka, and then Hisoka passes the exam. And then that guy's gonna fight Leorio next, but he's too beat up from his fight with Hisoka, so they let the next match happen before that, and this time it's Killua going in again against the dude with the pins in his face and the little mohawk, but we know if he takes him out, he has a totally different design. And he turns out to be Killua's brother. And there's no way you could call that, because they look nothing alike. Aside from being as pale as paper, which they both are, they do not look remotely similar at all, but they're brothers. And then this is where we get hardcore character development for Killua. He basically, his name's Illumi, by the way, I believe is how you'd say it. He basically talks to Killua. He's like, you know, you're a killer, you shouldn't even be a hunter, you're not made to be a hunter, you're a killer, you don't need friends and all this stuff. And Killua's basically saying, I ran away because I don't want to kill anymore. And he basically says, I want to be friends with Gon. And he says, well, no, you don't want to be friends with Gon. You just want to kill him. You want to see how good he is, see how good he can get, and then kill him, is essentially what he was telling him, because all you are is a cold-blooded killer. And as much as I want to be on Killua's side, that he wants to be friends with Gon, the last episode proves otherwise, because in the last episode he kind of had that little jealousy thing going when he was hearing about how cool Gon was and shit. So Illumi might not be wrong, but he's just a dick, he's crazy, he's weird, he's got like weird shit going on, he's just, he's a cool villain, I guess. Well, I wouldn't say villain, but he's a cool, like, an antagonistic type character that we're seeing here. And he's basically like, oh, I'm gonna kill Gon. And, because you want to be friends with him, he basically wants to keep Killua you know, he wants to bring him back to the family, I guess. Make him a killer, make him an assassin the way he's supposed to be, the way he was raised. And he says, I'm going to go kill Gon. And then you've got Kurapika, Leorio, and Hanzo defending the door. That was awesome. And Leorio had some great lines in this episode where he was just like, hey, this idiot's wrong. You already are friends with Gon. That's how Gon feels about it. So he just kicked this guy's ass. Which was awesome. Leorio's awesome. He just says cool shit. He's not a good fighter, but he just says cool shit. He's not a bad character at all. I really like him. Then we have... and he's funny. But what ends up happening is he says, you know what, I can't pass the exam if I go kill Gon, and I can't kill these guys, so I'll pass the exam first, then kill Gon. So he goes back to fight Killua, psychs him out, Killua gives up the fight, and he passes. And then he says, oh, I was just kidding about killing Gon, I just wanted to see an answer, and I was right. He bails, well, he doesn't bail, but he goes over, he passed the exam. Killua's all fucking... I think the dude with no mouth said he was a shell of himself. And yeah, I think next was gonna be Leorio's fight. And suddenly Killua, who's all psyched out and shit, just kills Leorio's opponent, just murders him, drops him to the ground. He killed somebody, he gets disqualified. So Killua does not pass. And we saw that Killua doesn't pass in the beginning of the episode, but we didn't know how. We find out why he didn't pass, and it's just like, dude, you have some fucking issues, kid. Like, I'm joking about it, but it's definitely really good character development. I really want to see where this character goes. Yeah, so Gon hears all this. He hears all this from the dude with no mouth, whose name I still don't know. They said it in this episode, but I'm not even sure how to pronounce it, so, Gon walks out. He goes to where the other people who passed the exam are, and we see Hisoka, we see Hanzo, we see the dude with the bow and arrow, we see Illumi, we see Kurapika, Leorio, did I say them? Whatever, the other 7 people. And, yeah, because there was 9 of them, only 1 person could fail, the other 8 pass. So yeah, the other 7. Gon walks up, he goes straight to Illumi, he's angry, and he says, apologize to Killua, and that's where the episode ends. That was a great ending. It was good that Gon slept through everything so that he wasn't there seeing all of it happen. He could hear the story, then just come up to the guy and be like, So the way the episode was structured is justified in the end. Overall, great episode. Fantastic. I'm going to give this like a 9 out of 10. This was well-paced. Great insight into Killua's character. Great insight into, his family and how he was raised and everything. Because we knew he was raised an assassin, but we didn't know, like, the details. So yeah, great episode. I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. Animation was especially good in this episode, I would say. Oh, and one more thing. Gon had a dream in the beginning of the episode that was, like, him climbing up these stairs to meet his dad. I'm assuming that would have been his dad, and the stairs break and he wakes up. Not a huge deal, but I thought I'd point that out. I almost forgot that happened. So yeah, that was pretty much the entire episode. If I missed anything, you can tell me down below, but it wasn't the most simple episode in the world, so, there you go. That's what that is. So thanks for watching. Tell me what you guys thought, like I said, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.